Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Imagineers Disney Podcast. I am your host, Matt, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Susie. Hi.
Hey, want to go ahead and apologize for everyone listening. I sound a little bit better. I've been sick for a few days, and apologize for anyone watching, as I look like the bird woman from either Mary Poppins or Home Alone 2. I'll let you guys decide.
Yes. You have the raspy smoker
Thanks.
voice.
Uh,
Did you
oh my god.
see? Did you see the video that I can't remember who posted it, but it was a video of the original Muppets. It was like a pilot, like the first episode,
Mm-mm.
and Fozzie sounded like Cookie Monster,
I don't like. Oh, I don't want to think about that. That sounds.
and then they changed it. So
Yeah. No. Ew.
it
He's
was
not.
interesting.
He's nice and soft. I actually just watched rewatched because of course I've seen it. The Great Muppet Caper via
Yes,
Disney Plus.
classic.
Where is Muppets Take Manhattan?
Is it not on there?
No.
Mm,
All the other Muppets are.
it's probably some rights issues. I don't know. So
Right.
I'm waiting for Fraggle Rock and the Muppet Show, like the
Oh yeah,
original
yeah.
Muppet
I think we
Show.
talked about that not too long ago. We earlier tonight were watching the live action Aladdin
Okay.
again because it was just added.
Now I can't remember. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, yeah, we went and saw it. Yeah. No, it was really good.
I don't know about that, but
Well, my expectations were very low after they released some scenes before
yes,
it came out,
yes.
and I was like, "Oh,
I remember we watched it. I was like, oh no,
yeah."
this is this is not good.
No.
But no, it was solid. It was fun. I think Will Smith did a good job.
Yeah,
I think most everybody in the movie did a
yeah,
good job. So
yeah.
anyway, I digress. So tonight's topic is going to be park etiquette,
Mm-hmm.
what not to do in the Disney parks. So there are things that just
Therapy session tonight.
yes. Tell me about your feelings. How do you feel about these things? So I should have done this earlier in the day. I actually, like an hour before we recorded, I went to Twitter and asked people to respond to say
Mm-hmm.
what their top things to not do in the parks, what their pet peeves were. So I think we'll just start with those. I think that's fun. We'll just
Yeah.
start with the listener questions,
Ooh.
answers, and yeah. So um, we had one that was, I think, a big one. Stop walking on a dime in the middle of high flow areas for whatever reason. And I think a couple of people said this too. And in fact, someone said the same. Someone said while walking through parks or resorts, do not stop in the middle of a walkway. So I think this is a big no-no. This is a big thing that one, it's a hazard because you can like
I hate this one so much. It's on my list. I don't understand. Like, I understand, like, you get kind of caught up in your own world. And, like, I've done it before. And oh, I'm so sorry. Like, turn around and say something and then try never to do it again. But I have lost my cool before. I'm like, don't just stop to people who just stop. And then everyone runs. I don't know. It's not a big deal, but it's just so frustrating.
especially when it's really crowded.
Yes.
Like if it's one thing, if it's not too terribly crowded, you're not in a terribly crowded area, stop and take a photo of something, whatever.
Mhm.
But just be mindful of your surroundings and what's going on around you, and coming to a complete stop in the middle of a crowded space like Main Street.
Uh, it's really bad there. And for whatever reason, it's really bad going into Adventureland.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know what it is. I guess that's probably um if you've looked at a map, you're probably just going to go there first because it's kind of like the closest, or you go, with wherever you see. There's like the psychology behind like where you go next to Disney. But I think like that's a really popular place to go first. And I don't know, people just aren't awake in the morning or what, but they just stop right in front the bathrooms every time. Look around, like
Just go.
there's
Keep
nothing to
moving.
see here. Do you
Keep
want to look at the
moving.
Swiss Family Robinson treehouse? Like,
Right.
go.
Um, kind of related. Charlotte said, run ahead of your family or group and come to a sudden stop in front of hundreds of moving humans because you have to wait 5 minutes for the rest of your party to catch up with you. So this one's a little bit more complicated, but kind of in the same vein. To this one, I would just respond, take your time. You know, take everything in. Just don't go at a breakneck pace. You're
I
gonna
don't
wear
know.
yourself out.
Have you ever been that person though? When you go on a trip and you're like, we gotta go do blah 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 blah, and like you
Well,
head out and you turn around and no one else has the same sense of urgency when your fast pass is about to expire as you do.
so I'm going to throw our agency owner under the bus here for a second. Adam, so we have our agency retreat. By the time this actually airs, we will be in Walt Disney World. We're getting close to 400 agents.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and our yearly retreat, which we have in the second week in January, this year we have, I think, 205 agents going. So
Wow.
we are going to storm the parks, and it's going to be great. But it is always a struggle to keep up with Adam because of his pace. He is a very tall individual, long legs, and lots of people have short legs and can't keep up, and it's a marathon trying to keep up with that guy, but it's a lot of fun.
That made me think of another etiquette thing, and you guys can't do it because you have 200. I don't know. No, you can't do it, but jokingly, like, you shouldn't do this. You can't. I hate when someone's party walk side by side.
Yes, that was one of the questions that was brought up.
The whole lane, like, do you think there's only 12 people in Disney World? Like, get out of the way. Stop. Excuse me.
There are some very narrow pathways in the parks. I think it can get really bad in Epcot.
Yes.
Around World Showcase, especially if it's super busy. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Anything near the castle, those two like side.
Yes, yeah, the
walks
Rose
in
Garden
Magic
area.
Kingdom
Yep.
are really tight. A lot of
Animal
Galaxy's
Kingdom?
Edge.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said Animal Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Galaxy's Edge. There's
yeah,
some
Animal
wider
Kingdom's a good
spaces,
one.
but
Because of all the like the walking trails,
right.
the animals. Yeah, that's pretty narrow.
Yeah, so I think just kind of stopping in general without any warning is basically frowned upon by most people.
Basically, you guys are all walking wrong. You all suck at walking.
Disney blog at Disney blog, not like actual
Yeah,
Disney, but the username at Disney blog, said using a stroller. So clearly this person may or may not be a parent, which is fine. I am a relatively new parent. My child will be turning, as I am saying this, someone just responded, ramming people with strollers. So yeah, let's get strollers out of the way here real quick. What I'm trying to say is just be cautious. Be responsible with your stroller, your ECV. We understand that you have a need for them and they are important, but use them wisely.
Use
and
them
with caution.
wisely. And the other side of that is everyone, especially wheelchairs or other, it's not your job to question why someone is in them, but give them enough space proportionate as you would a person walking.
Yeah.
And on the other side of that, if you're in one of them, proportionately operate it as if you were you're walking. Like, you don't need to take a crazy amount, but vice versa.
One of the people I follow on Twitter and follows us, I won't mention her name because it's kind of health related, but like she came to Disney World recently and she got hit in the monorail by someone with an ECV, just kind of being a little careless, and like pinned her leg up against the side of like the interior of the monorail, I think, And I don't know if she like broke it or not, but like it was a medical incident.
Oh
So
my gosh.
it's just like, people, please.
I don't understand. Maybe some of that is because we're spoiled and we go more often. And if you only get to go once every few years, there's like this urgency of trying to get everywhere and do everything.
Right.
But at the expense of like physically hurting somebody with your wheelchair or your why? Like,
Yeah, just be mindful. Like, since I've become a parent, I've actually like I've thought, okay, I have this stroller now. How am I going to maneuver in crowds? So like,
Yeah.
I'm taking the extra thought and be like, okay, I need to keep, just like driving, keep a distance from you and the person in front of you. It gets really, where it gets tough is fireworks shows or park exits, park close, where you have thousands upon thousands of people all trying to leave the parks all at the same time. And this is just where you really need to be cautious, because you can seriously hurt somebody. Because when you hit
It's so
somebody,
tight.
it's like a chain reaction, and then people behind you can run into you, and then it just makes everything worse, especially for the motorized vehicles. But once again, they are perfectly fine. There are reasons why you use them, both medical and, physical limitations with children. You have to like transport your children around the parks.
Yeah.
What we're saying is just be cautious. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get this one out of the way. Oh, Sean, thank you so much. He said, "Fart in the Space Mountain queue." I'm going to add on to this by saying, or any queue at all.
No, it sounds like he had a very specific
He may have had a
at some point. So if you're listening and you're the one who farted in the Space Mountain queue, Sean knows it and he's waiting for an apology.
I think this is the perfect opportunity to bring up the recent incident. I don't know. I can't remember how recent it was, but definitely in 2019. It was one of the 2019 news articles, I guess, that came out towards the end of the year. But do you remember you heard about the addition that came to the Flight of Passage queue, right?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have done the regular queue one time.
Okay.
I have fast passed the rest of the time because seeing giant blue people in a tube is only interesting to me one time. So I
Fair.
don't know.
Fair.
I don't know.
It is very impressive, but
It's
fair.
impressive, but like
Fair.
it's like okay, I'd rather do like the Smuggler's Run queue.
Yeah. So
So no, I don't know.
they added restrooms inside the queue of Flight of Passage.
It makes sense because it's like a 4-hour line.
There's 2 restrooms. There's a single toilet in each one, and it's unisex. So,
Okay. So you go when you gotta go. Yeah.
yep. So it's like half. I would say halfway through the queue. It's in like the jungle area of it, and it's off to the side.
Is
So
that before you go in? Right before you go inside?
no. Like it's halfway into the queue. You've gone through the caverns.
Oh, okay.
And,
Okay.
and then you go in when you start moving into the forest area. The ramp, the switchback ramp that goes up.
Yes.
Before you start going up that, it's off on the left if you're facing the cube. So, Susie's
Gotta
coughing
own the
over
cough
here.
at this point.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just gonna roll with it. It's all right. So there may have been
No.
an incident with that brought upon these restrooms being built and offered to guests. There was a woman who was in the queue, and she felt something on her leg. And lo and behold, a 46-year-old male from, I think, Brazil, I just couldn't hold it anymore, and decided to relieve himself in the queue, and it splashed on her leg. Susie, where'd you go?
Oh my
Huh?
gosh, it's so disgusting. What
Uh,
do you do? What do you do? You can't get out of line. You've been there for like 2 hours.
well, apparently she like stayed in line for like another 20 minutes until she found like a cast member and then let them know. Well, they found the guy.
Did he like own it?
Yeah, he said he couldn't hold it anymore, I guess. So he was trying to do it as discreetly as possible, but
There is
there was nowhere
no
else to go.
discreet way in public to remove urine from your body. No.
Yeah.
There's no discreet way of doing it.
He was not banned forever, but he was asked not to come back to the park for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that that's worse than stopping in the middle of the sidewalk in a crowded
Yeah,
area.
this may be the number one thing. Do not,
Do not pee on other guests.
please do not pee on other guests. Oh boy. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Let's see.
Sorry. How did I not hear about that?
Right.
Oh,
So there's really only one other question that we had, or answer that we had submitted. Let's go ahead and throw this one out. So it's probably my number one. My number one and number two are very close together for pet peeves. Kids on shoulders during fireworks.
that one's not going away.
Yeah, so thank you to Castle in a Dream in a Mouse for sending that in.
I didn't have that one on my list. I mean, I hate it, but like, it's
Listen,
the oldest one in the book.
here's
but
the
just
thing.
People continuously do it.
Here's the thing. I can now say this once again as a parent. There are ways to do this right. Putting your child on top of your shoulders, almost doubling your height in some cases, is not the way to do this. You can hold your child
At like chest level.
at like chest level, like where their head is even as yours, because you can see it, so can they, at your height, and it ruins the experience for the people behind you, and especially in for happily ever after, or I think that's probably the big
Projection.
projection shows, the projection shows in Hollywood studios, but especially happily ever after. Sometimes you have people who have been waiting in spots for their favorite spot to watch the fireworks, sometimes for multiple hours, depending on how busy it is, the time of year, all that stuff. Sometimes I'll go wait for an hour or so to have the spot that I want. And if someone is in front of me and they put their kid up on their shoulders, I just kind of want to be like, dude, come on, please.
Have you ever said anything to anybody?
I don't like confrontation. But
This is where we differ.
it's slowly eroding, and I'm getting very close to the point where I'm just be like, forget it. Yeah,
Well, and you're right. You're a parent, so you know you have that ability to be like, you know what the other things they can be
Yeah.
doing are.
yeah, and but like these for New Year's, people are waiting since like 2 o'clock in the afternoon in their spots, and yeah, that's just a bad way to end in the night. So don't be that guy, please.
Get another fist fight breakout
Oh,
like Disneyland.
Disneyland.
So
Straight
that
out
was
of
your number
Toontown.
one.
That's probably my number one. Like that's the one that bothers me the most. The other ones are annoying, but like
Yeah.
that can ruin an experience for people.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Kind of in a similar vein is with parades, and kind of doing the same thing, just kind of cutting in front of people in parades to get a better spot.
I hate when people think that and I say people, I also mean children, I don't care, that like, I don't know, 15 inches between my feet or the foot between my feet when when I'm standing is a spot. that is not a spot for you. That is still me. You cannot like sit on my feet. I have had that happen, and they go to the curb, and there's a reason I'm standing on the curb,
Right.
so no one can stand in front of me.
Yeah.
And this was
That's the particular instance that I'm.
that was what was it? That was Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party that happened to us. We were fine for Booty You. But yeah, I had a girl basically come and sit on my feet, and we had been there for at least an hour before.
Now, I am mindful in these instances as well. Like, typically, if like I see a family of like kids, especially, I'm like, okay, here you go. You stand in front of me. I'll like try to scoot back a little bit, and I'll let them come stand in front. So,
but I hate when like the kid pushes their way through. Like they're not with their group or by themselves, which is probably, I'm not a parent, so I'm sorry. One of my top ones, parents who just have no ability to like control their children at Disney World. Their kids like wander off, or their kid has run into me, and they're like, "Oh, Sally, oh, mom, no, get Sally. Oh, I don't care whatever her name is, out of my little area." I don't know. I get it. It's for kids. It's for families. But sometimes, like, y'all gotta control your kids.
Spoken like a true childless millennial.
Let me put it this way, I won't be negative in viewing anything that happens if I knew my parents would have let me get away with it.
That's fair.
If I would have gotten smacked with it, or if I gotten a spanking in the middle of Disney World, because that's happened before, I have no patience for it.
Yeah.
Because it's just rude. You're teaching your kids to just be rude. I'm sorry. I want to have a good time too, and I want them to have a great time, but not at the expense of pushing people out of the way or just sitting in the middle of the line queue when we've moved forward.
Right.
Let's go. I want to go on Kilimanjaro. That happened recently. And the funny thing is, it wasn't even the adults in front of that kid. They were like two families in front of them. The adults were talking or on their phones or something and weren't even paying attention. So that's on parents too.
Right.
I'm gonna call y'all out.
Let's talk about massive groups of people cutting people in line.
Yep.
Now,
I got that one.
Now you don't see that as much in Disney as you would like Universal. I don't know. I just see it more in Universal. Maybe it's just my experience. You see it every once in a while at Disney World. I get, once again, the whole parent thing. If it's like a parent and like a little kid, they've probably gone to the bathroom or something.
But when it's like 4 or 5
14 teenagers, I'm just like, no. No.
Back of the line.
So I have done that once. It was interesting. And I've seen other people do it.
Let's see. I think I did it. I didn't do it. I was holding the spot for a group. It was actually my 21st birthday, and I have a friend who can walk, doesn't have a wheelchair, or didn't bring it just for that, but he needed to rent a wheelchair for the longer duration of the day for medical purposes, which were obvious. It wasn't like, it's not, again, our right to question someone's medical condition, but you can tell he has a disability by looking at his legs. So I was holding the spot, and Seven Dwarfs, after it opened a few years ago, they went to go get the wheelchair, and I couldn't have been in line for more than 10 minutes. And my parents and him and his wife come through with their wheelchair. The rest of our group was there, me and a few other friends. And the lady behind us is like, "That's against Disney rules." And I'm like, they went to get a wheelchair. Like,
come on. It's all right.
It's literally like 8 o'clock in the morning because of extra magic hours, and you're gonna get all upset now because you have to wait like an extra 20 seconds when we get up to the front. That's the one time that I have done that, and I kind of was like, "Really, Karen?"
I think maybe this, and I'll add this: don't lose your cool while on vacation at Disney World. It's not going to make things better.
No. We
Just
never we if we had any of those moments as a family, which we did because you're a family, but they were not in the park. It would be leaving the motorhome or going somewhere, but like in the park, like there's people around.
yeah, yeah,
Keep it
and
together.
so there are responsible ways to handle things. I'm not saying take care of problems that arise, but just be just be careful. Just know your surroundings.
Yeah.
Don't say anything that you're gonna regret. There was one time, I'm telling you, and it was the worst thing I think I've ever heard anyone say in a Disney park. It was Magic Kingdom, and I was walking into the park. This family was leaving the park. It is a father, a mother, and like the kids had to have been like 7 or 8 years old, just like not old. And the dad's like, say goodbye to the castle, kids. This is the last time you're ever going to see it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, better call child services on these people. So,
That was a scary voice you just did.
sorry.
I didn't like that.
That's what he sounded like in my
Oh,
mind.
he's scary. He's a scary person.
And the kid just started wailing. I'm just like, bro, come on, don't do that.
If it's even true, like don't tell them. Give them some hope.
Yeah. So, don't say that to your kids at Disney. It's not fun. I've scarred for life. What?
I've got one.
Okay. What do you got?
This one really irked me on my last trip
Okay.
because it impacted where I was in line for Rise of the Resistance in the morning. Now, granted, I was still in boarding group 18, so it wasn't the end of the world, but I didn't know that yet. When you are going through bag check, unzip your bags.
Okay, that's fair.
Unzip all of your bags. To the guy in front of me, unzip the 3 bags in your stroller. They have called that out, ahead of time. You know
They actually
it.
tell you unzip your
Unzip
bags.
your bags. And security isn't always necessarily consistent. Some people are more detailed than others. I've had people literally like open my wallet and unzip the change thing, and then other guys who just like put their hand down, good to go. Okay.
Yeah, some are a little overzealous. I'm like,
Yeah, we had an overzealous guy, and
I saw somebody open an
guy-
eyeglass case. I'm just like, really? Literally anything that had a case, he was opening. I'm just like, okay, well, guess I'm safe.
It'd be like that sometimes. Yeah, but this guy just did not unzip any of their bags, and the rest of the family like went ahead. And that's another thing I don't understand is when you're in a group and one person goes through bag check with all of your bags and everyone else goes through no bags. I'm like, you still have to wait on them because they have your bag.
True.
But yeah, this guy did not unzip a single bag. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, I better get a boarding pass. I'm gonna hunt you down. I'm gonna steal all your backpacks. I'm gonna unzip them all.
Yeah, boarding passes
Pour
have been
everything out.
crazy lately.
Oh, yeah.
I think Touring Plans does a really great job of data. They are like the data kings when it comes to the parks, and they've released graphs and charts and all this, and they had a very detailed chart of when the boarding passes opened and when they closed. January, I think it was the 3rd. I think it was January 3rd. It was a Friday. 1 minute. 7 o'clock they opened. 7:01 they closed. Everything is gone in 1 minute. I'm just like, what is happening?
How is that even possible for everyone? No, what? You can't even get through the turnstile in 1 minute for there to be that many.
Yeah. I mean,
Ooh.
it's like less than 20 minutes. Less than 15 or 20 minutes
Yeah,
each day so
definitely.
far. So I'm hoping that changes. I'm hoping that changes here in the next few days when I go down for the retreat. Because I do want to ride Rise, so that would be fun. As do most of our other agents who are going, who haven't been since
Every man
December.
for himself.
Boarding group of
Pushing out
205, please.
Ugh.
Not likely. Yeah. So I think I have one more, and it is either recording video or texting on your phone, doing anything with your phone in screens in dark rides like Haunted Mansion. Put your phone away for 5 minutes.
You can't even see anything. I don't know what they're taking a picture of or recording. You're not supposed to use flash.
Well, some cameras are actually very good at it, like mine. But
okay, we get it. Some people are fancy.
But the people who are just like clearly texting people while in the middle of Haunted Mansion or watching videos, I've seen that. And the people with the iPads, the giant iPads taking photos, I'm just like, what are you doing? Please no. Okay. Haunted Mansion, there is no place to do that. If you were going to do it on a dark ride, like Pirates, for example, if you're going to do Pirates, request the back row so it doesn't bother anyone. Mm-hmm. If you want to take a video, fine, whatever. It's not like there are like a million other videos on YouTube of the exact same thing that you were recording.
Or you could, just like, I don't know, take in the moment on vacation.
Unplug for a little bit.
Literally like 3.5 minutes.
So that is one of my top pet peeves.
That's a good one.
Because it breaks the experience.
Yeah. Definitely does.
Brings you out of it. So anyway,
I have one more. Then before I get to it, we have to say, I think we all feel this way. Anyone who stops in the middle of a row. It's also unpatriotic.
It's very unpatriotic.
Speaking of which, a menu was released.
Yes, I'm very excited. The Regal Eagle. So the community is very split. There is the Disney community is split. There are the Epcot purists who are like, no IP anywhere. I'm just like, I mean...
Yeah, you lost that battle a long time ago, though.
I get it. I understand it. I'm with you in some cases, but I think we've come to the point where, we got to let something in. Like they just changed the music for some of the pavilions, like the Mexico pavilion has Coco music, China has Mulan, France has Beauty and the Beast, but it's all very well done. Like it's
it fits in
authentic instruments. It's not vocal stuff. It's all instrumental. So I think
appropriately America gets the Muppets. What's more American?
A Sam Eagle, man.
Nothing.
It's not like it's taking the whole. It's just the quick service there.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's a salute to all cook-offs, but mostly barbecue. So this has been fun. This has been therapeutic.
Is to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
This has been cathartic. I
felt good. I needed to get that out.
Yeah, I'll get that out. So there's something we haven't mentioned. Just let us know what it is. We are on social media, so we'll post this, the links to everything, and we want to know what are your park no-nos.
We just sound like such snobs. I don't care.
I mean,
everyone has little moments of like, oh, I stopped in the sidewalk, or oh, my kid is like, oh, I looked, 2 extra seconds, I wasn't looking at them. But some people's behavior, you just know they don't give a crap about anybody.
So let us know what you think. So we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, Instagram, and we're the Imagineers Disney Podcast. Just leave a comment on what are your park etiquette don'ts. And as always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. If you haven't subscribed, we would love for you to do that. Leave us a rating. Tell us what you think about the show. And we look forward to coming back at you next week for another great episode of Disney stuff. We enjoy talking about Disney and sharing our experiences in the parks with you, and sharing our tips and tricks to help you have a better vacation. So until next week, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.